I guess there's one big outcry, one controversy. North Carolina got in, West Virginia did not. Okay. And as I've said many times, it's a TV show. You want to get the right teams, big names in there. Did West Virginia get snubbed? Perhaps. Should North Carolina have been in there? Probably not. I think the comeback and the near victory against Duke is the reason why they're in. Is that enough to put them in? Not in my opinion. But I haven't been following it every single day, every single night, every single week. I'm just going by what the analysts are saying. Now, we'll dive into it this week. We'll have people on. Seth Greenberg, former coach, works for the mothership. He'll explain why North Carolina got in. But when you get to 68 teams, I just don't have any sympathy. It's really hard to go, man, did they get robbed? If you're on the bubble, you put yourself in the position to have a guy named Bubba decide if you're going to get in the tournament. By the way, Bubba is a North Carolina guy, but he heads up the NCAA selection committee. I don't think there's a conflict of interest, is there? I think when they talk about his school, he has to leave the room, though. I don't think he can argue the case for, at least that's what I was told. I'm going to ask Seth Greenberg. But Bubba Cunningham, NCAA selection committee, talked about the teams that were snubbed.
The last four teams that were out, it was a tough call. The next team out was West Virginia, and they had an outstanding year. And unfortunately, Tucker DeVries was hurt, and player availability is something that we talk about quite a bit. And then Indiana was close, Ohio State was close, Boise was close, and we had a lot of conversations about those teams as well. But yeah, as I said at the onset here, that's the hardest part of being on the committee is having to draw that line. But with only one real upset this year, there were an awful lot of teams on the bubble that got in. And last year, as you guys all know, that we had 5. And so we couldn't go very deep into to that pool.
Go Heels.
And I know he did not say that.
That was in the clip.
Was it?
That was in the clip.
We must have edited it out before, right at the very end. Look, I know it's really important to certain cities, towns, coaches, players, when you don't make the tournament. I can sit here and go, come on, we have 68 teams. It's important to West Virginia. It'd be important to Indiana. Mike Woodson, Ohio State, Boise State. I understand that. But when you get to that point where we're taking 68, they're going to expand to 76, maybe next year. After that, I mean, really, do we have to shed any tears here? Should North Carolina have been in? I didn't think so. But I don't know West Virginia's resume and how that stacks up where you go, oh, it's so egregious here. Yes, Eden.
West Virginia had plenty of chances down the stretch here to do something notable. Beat Colorado. The very least, beat Colorado in your last game.
Yeah.
And they went 6-9 in the second half of the season. They didn't beat anybody of any real value. No NCAA caliber tournament teams did they beat. I mean, just win one of those games against a decent team. Beat Houston or somebody, and then you're in.
Yes, Paul.
I disagree a little bit because once the games are over on Sunday, we go to the resumes. The room goes to the resumes. And UNC's resume was drastically worse than West Virginia. So if you're West Virginia, we got screwed by the UNC legacy, the brand of UNC.
Yeah.
How about a chance to get our legacy and get in the tournament?
Yes. How can we start a legacy when you continue to honor the other legacies? But if that's the case, Indiana would have gotten in. Because Indiana, Mike Woodson's losing his job, and they had a late run here. This is all about SEC. SEC is now a basketball conference. The Big Ten and the SEC. The SEC had 14 teams. That's most in tournament history. The previous record, you have to go back almost 15 years. Big East had 11. 14 teams.
Out of 16. That's almost every team. How is that possible?
Well, Texas and Oklahoma, they had 6-12 records in conference play. Texas, 19-15. That's tied for the most losses by an at-large team in NCAA tournament history.
Stat of the day, stat of the day, bop, bop. Stat of the day, stat of the day.
Oh, here comes.
Here comes that
What?
Stat of the day. Bop.
Stat of the day brought to you by Panini America.